Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us for this telemedicine webinar. I'm Nicolette, owner and founder of Atrium 24 and the Dotti CRM software.
I am Annie, the clinical pharmacist here at Atrium. So I've done a lot of background work on telemedicine and also implemented it in our fulfillment pharmacy as well.
Yeah. So I will go ahead and start the PowerPoint so that we can jump into the content because there's a lot to talk about with telemedicine, a lot to consider. And really, we were discussing it today, kind of how long we're going to drone on for during this webinar, and it could be very involved. This is just going to be the high level, just like the what you need to know to get started, should you want to do this in your pharmacy. And there's obviously a lot more that you'll have to dig into. So telemedicine is the new front door to your pharmacy. We introduced ourselves. What are we going to talk about today, Annie, at a high level?
Yes, a lot. So a lot of people just, what even is telemedicine is at the top of their mind. The importance of vetting and compliance when you're implementing it into your pharmacy. We're going to introduce the platforms that we're talking about today. How this telemedicine space really fits into independent pharmacy extremely well. The benefits of Atrium's GPO with our discounts, and also the benefits of our specific telemedicine partnership. How to market telemedicine in your pharmacy, a little bit about like a basic workflow so you can get an idea, and then how to get started.
Yeah, that sounds great. So let's jump in.
Yeah, so what is telemedicine? So telemedicine refers to the use of digital communication tools to provide clinical health care remotely. It allows patients to consult with licensed healthcare providers from anywhere using a smartphone, tablet, or computer. So as you all know, telemedicine has exploded in the last couple of years. So if you are not implementing it or looking to, you're missing out on a huge population that you would never be able to get, even if it's patients that are already at your pharmacy that are looking for specific things that they're not going to get from their regular prescriber. It's a really great opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. And definitely this whole GLP and a lot of like the online direct to consumer marketing, that's raised a big awareness of really all patients about telemedicine and made them a little more comfortable with that model. And especially us being in a post-COVID world, a lot of healthcare had to be delivered remotely. So it used to be, and this is a nice segue into this vetting and compliance slide, it used to be that telemedicine was not very common. There were some kind of like maybe sketchy operations that were tied into telemedicine. And so that's why, honestly, me personally, it took me such a long time to vet these different opportunities and to really nitpick on certain aspects that could go the wrong way of the law or anti-kickback statutes and things like that. That's why I've been working so closely with legal counsel to structure it all properly for our pharmacy and for the pharmacies that we support. So happy to say we were able to clear all those legal hurdles. There's a lot there and a lot we have to do to be compliant and diligent. And these platforms, they do pass those standards. And it is just good patient care. And patients are happy about it. They're used to it. So when we talk about vetting and compliance, there's a lot to consider there. Of course, legal and regulatory compliance. So telemedicine is heavily regulated at both the state and the federal levels. So if you think about it, there's a lot that goes on with, like I know in Florida has very specific anti-kickback statutes and very specific ways that pharmacies can and can't work with providers and different ways that money can and cannot flow. So you just have to make sure that you understand how that works in your state. You likely already do. So there's all those like between the pharmacy and the prescriber things that you have to be concerned about, but then also patient safety and quality of care. So this is something interesting that we had to learn about along the way. We know about the pharmacy side and how we're able to work with prescribers, but on the patient side too, with patients and telemedicine, there's different types of visits. There's a synchronous visit and an asynchronous visit. So is the patient, when they're visiting with the prescriber and having that actual medical visit, is it done in real time? Is it done in like a FaceTime or a Zoom situation? Or is it asynchronous where the patient fills out a form? In which instances is that appropriate? And in certain states have well, really all states have their own laws on what is acceptable. So,
Yeah, so it's important, and then also when you're partnering with the telemedicine, obviously that they know. So if you were to,
Right.
ask them like, what's the law in, New York, they'd be able to tell you.
yeah,
Obviously, so the ones we're gonna be talking about today are up to date on that, but it's always a good idea, to double check on that, because
Yeah.
every state is different and, things are always changing.
yes, exactly. So, definitely know in your state what's acceptable. And just make sure that it checks all those boxes. So you as a pharmacist, you just have to know what constitutes a valid patient-prescriber relationship. That's normal stuff for us. And it was that medically appropriate, that prescription that was generated.
So the platforms that we're going to talk about today are Expedicare RX, which is going to be open to everybody, and then also iCare Plus, which is a new rollout for IPC members only. But we will do a little bit of an introduction to that as well. So if you are a member of IPC, you can kind of get an idea of how that platform runs for them as well. Okay, so what are the benefits for independent pharmacies? They are pretty vast. So it's profitable right from the start because you can choose what medications you want to fulfill. So, your compounded medications, your wellness medications, these things all have a margin. Most of the things that you're going to be running through, you're not charging insurance, so it's mostly cash pay. So you're guaranteed profit right out the gate. You don't have to worry about, are the PBMs going to claw back your payments? What's going to happen?
Right.
It's convenient, obviously, for your patients, even if you have patients that, are interested already in something you have, like, let's say NAD. It's a lot more difficult to say, like, okay, now go to your doctor, explain what NAD is, explain the
Right.
dosing. A lot of them aren't comfortable with these new like wellness things, or sometimes, like we saw with JLPs, they're not even allowed to write for the compounded version. They're restricted, just even if they want to, they're not allowed to, because they work under a certain company. And then your conversion rate of these patients that are interested is going to be that much faster, because they can go on, they can, complete their assessment and they'll have their prescription right away.
Right.
So you can really capitalize on that. It's customizable. So especially with, we're going to talk about Expedicare in a little bit, but it's so easy to pick and choose what you would like on there. So let's say I only want to do, the 503B wellness things that I can get. So I'm only going to do NAD, and I'm only going to do sermorelin and glutathione. You can select those. And then the next day, if you say like, hey, I want to add some of my compounds on there, or men's health, you can click a button and it's going to be automatically available on your website to get going with that. So at any point you can kind of adjust what you'd like to be on there. Obviously it's innovative. This is how healthcare is moving. We're including more AI, and everything is like digital these days. So honestly, if you're not moving in that direction, you're going to miss out on a lot. And then it expands your reach. So like these things that we've talked about, like people might not be able to get these medications from their prescriber. So where are they looking? They're looking online. So they're going to go to Hims or Hers. They're going to look for their ED meds. We want them to be able to come to you now too. If they have the choice, we're hoping they're going to come to you. They trust you. They know you. They know that they're going to get a good product from you. But you just give them that option to be able to get it from you to begin with. We already talked a little bit about this as well, but like,
and there's a lot of therapeutic areas.
There really are. Yeah.
And it's cool because you can customize it. So whatever you're dispensing at your pharmacy, or whatever you're promoting on your website or your social media, or whatever you're doing, like Annie said, with Expedicare, the one that we've been piloting, on the back end, you can check the boxes that those are the assessments you want to offer to your patients, and you can expand upon it all the time. So as new products come available, even through our GPO, through other 503Bs, you can just work seamlessly to turn those on your telemed platform, download the marketing resources from Dotti, buy the products from the 503Bs, and just like fully connect that road.
It is like now, we have at Atrium had these full programs, and then we added in our GPO, and that was like the next step. Okay, here's where you can get it. Here's
Yeah.
the discounts that you're gonna get when you're a Dotti member.
Mhm.
And now it's like that last piece of the prescriptions.
Yeah.
So it's like a complete program. Like we're about to launch NAD as well. So it's like you can
Yeah.
activate that link. You can purchase the NAD through our GPO at the discount. And then the prescriptions come right through and you can sell them. We have everything, including the marketing materials and everything. So it's like you're ready to hit the ground running. And we're going to continue developing a lot of new programs. And as you guys are using the telemedicine, we'll work with you guys to see like what are the most pressing things you want added as well, because we have a lot. We have a lot in the hopper, but we're
Yeah,
always willing to
always.
push the most important ones forward to you guys.
Yep.
But so back to the slide here, we talked a lot about the 503B products, but obviously GLPs were huge. Right now, semaglutide is a big one, but there's also a ton of others. So like Olympia has a rather extensive list of medications that they sell on their 503B side.
Mhm.
So any of those, when you're thinking wellness, if you're looking at any probably wellness prescribers around the area or clinics, they're buying these products from Olympia and selling them constantly. Your mix, your B12s, your
Mhm.
Sermorelin, your NAD. So those are really big ones.
There's more 503Bs that I'm working with as well on the vetting side. I know one of the 503Bs is working on bringing some BLT, like some numbing creams for cosmetic procedures and things like that into our GPO. There's a veterinary 503B, but I don't think telemed would cover for veterinary. That'd be cool, but
Can we
not
get a
yet.
telehealth veterinarian on board? Maybe.
Yeah, hey, maybe we'll try. But there's just other products on the 503B side that are cool. And then on the compounded side, so a lot of you are compounding non-sterile products in your pharmacies. And with ExpediCare, they have, I think, 125 different links and protocols and things that you can activate, and they're constantly adding more. And something new that they recently did is you can add your own. So if you have your own custom compounds or your own formulations that you make in your store, and they're not listed on there, you can add them if I'm right in this, and you can make them private.
So there's a couple different ways you can go about it, which is requesting like a protocol, a brand new protocol. So if you're like, hey, we do this hair loss medication that's not on here.
Yeah.
You submit the protocol to the doctor, who will review it and say like, is this medically, reasonable? Is this beneficial? And then once they approve it, it will be loaded for you. And then there is also the new option where you can take one of the links, customize it for you, or just make one that wouldn't be visible to the public. So you would just put a name out there that like hair loss something, but it wouldn't show exactly what's in the formula online until, of course you can share that with the patient, but it just wouldn't be shared to the entire platform that's out there.
Right, that's right.
But yeah, for compounding, so anyone who's interested in the 503Bs, it's amazing. For compounding, it's amazing. So if you do your own, ED troches, most likely something similar is already up there, but if you have something specific, you can get it added. LDN, dermatology, HRT, hair loss, any of those things that you really are thinking like, what are people looking for when they're going to places like Hims and Hers?
Right.
That's what really translates well to this. Like maybe, I don't know, maybe your foot scrub's not going to do as well in this space. Good, who knows? But things like that really translate really well. And then also retail medications. So there's protocols that you could activate for like travel medications. And in this space, I think of things that aren't typically covered by insurance. So things like doing a travel medicine visit and getting all of your medications that you might need for that, even dermatological stuff like your Retin-A's or your hydroquinones, even like Latisse. You want some Latisse? Sure, everyone does, and then you can also, if you want to even do like refill medications, so if you are interested in activating this for like standard medications and someone's on, blood pressure and a statin or whatever, you can also activate that so they can refill their medications that they've already been on, especially if a patient comes in and, maybe they're out of state, or maybe they can't get into their doctor's office. So that's an option of your more typical medications.
Yeah, and what I really like is that with our experience with ExpediCare, and I'll keep referring to that because that's what we do have most experience with. We've been working with that in our own fulfillment pharmacy for about 6 months. And it is very legit. So we have a really good relationship with Dr. Pham, who's one of the owners of the platform. And he's, if we want him to add something to the protocol, he wants to know the studies, or, he's not just fly by night. They're licensed in 50 states. And the travel medicine reminds me, I was able to go on one of those famous Amina Rojo voyage excursions to Africa, and I had to get the anti-malaria medications for my whole family. And I did so through ExpediCare and through the platform. So with that, we saw a nurse practitioner immediately through the platform, and she asked us the questions and where we were going and what dates we were going. And then she sent in an e-scribe to our pharmacy for the medication. So it was really cool. And I was able to do that for my whole family and have everybody get visits. And then on the weight loss side, because we're essentially a small fulfillment pharmacy, so we've just been doing very specific 503B items. So like we don't have the refill button activated on our website because we don't want to fill statins and all these things. It's just not in our business model. So when our patients come through and they only see, a handful of drugs available on our pharmacy specific link through ExpediCare, they typically see Dr. Pham. So I know we're in Florida, Dr. Pham's in Florida, he's based in Orlando. His partner, Dr. Doe, is in Texas, but they cover all 50 states and they have multiple physicians. So I've been really impressed with their professionalism, and I mean, they're very legit prescribers.
Yep, and they are definitely very connected to the patients. So they reach out to them right away, let them know where the prescription has gone, and also the pharmacy's information. They'll say, if they need to ask any questions, they will, back and forth. But then they'll say, all right, your prescription has been sent to a chief pharmacy. Here's their information. Call them. Normally by then we've already seen it and have contacted the patient, but it's definitely very clear for the patient. And
our patients, even the ones that are not tech savvy, have done really well, been able to do the platform and had good experience. So all those things matter. And we've tested them out, and even just not given the patients a lot of information, because it's a lot of friends and family that we work with, and they were able to get through it. So
so
that's
far,
a
so
good testament to the platform. So why is it important for Atrium 24 to bring telemedicine into our GPO? I mean, any of the companies that we work with, you can go seek them out and work with them on your own. So our goal is always, are we providing value? What is that value? And how can we help pharmacies really connect the dots and implement and execute these things?
Yeah, so the first, we have our own slide about this because it's such a huge piece, but is the GPO benefits. So we do have some GPO partners right now: Olympia Pharmaceuticals, PQ Pharmacy. They're both actually here in Florida, and then Medivant Healthcare. So probably the most important at this juncture is Olympia's discounts that we get. So it is actually incredible. Once you are a Dotti member, everybody gets a discount on every single 503B product that is available. And then if you are in the Plus or Pro memberships, you get a deeper discount. But just the discount that you get on these products is going to pay for your membership right away. And then, of course, when you're selling these medications, there is such a profit that even if you're just selling 1 or 2 of these medications, you're also making enough to cover your membership. But anyway, so you automatically, as an Atrium member, get access to these discounts, which otherwise you would need to be, ordering 5,000 vials of something a month to be able to get. But since we're able to congregate that purchasing power, then we pass that along to you. And then we have even deeper discounts on some of the most popular ones with Olympia as well. So anything that falls into that, wellness and anti-aging, weight loss, men's health, into that space, you can really see some great discounts with that. And then with Atrium as part of your telemedicine partnership as well. We are here to help you with your onboarding and training, and we're also going to be here for ongoing support. And then I'll just skip to the last one real quick, which is just continued development, which we talked a little bit about. We're here to work with you guys to push out the most important things that you need. So maybe you're like, listen, Annie, I want to add, glutathione. Can you see if you can get a protocol? Something like that. We're here to help with that, and we're going to continue to develop programs around it. And then we'll pop back up to our clinical programming and marketing materials, because that's a huge piece.
Yeah.
So as an Atrium member, you can download auto-branded marketing materials for your pharmacy. There are different membership tiers, so it does depend, exactly what you're at, but there's sell sheets, bag stuffers, patient information sheets, pricing guides, fillable pricing sheets, and more. So kind of like even the pricing guides are like very helpful for people who don't have the time to sit down and say like, well, what am I going to sell a vial of NED for? Like, we've done that for you.
Yeah, it's a question we get all the time.
Yes, that's
Not
like one of the
only,
most
like,
important ones.
Who do I buy the product from? How much should I pay? How do I market it? How do I get a prescriber to write for it? What should I charge the patient?
Right.
So we do a lot of our own internal analytics because our Dotti platform, we're able to, de-identified, of course, but we're able to see all the dispensing data across our network. So we're able to see just around the country, what are people charging for certain things, as an aggregate, as a whole. And then in our own pharmacy, we have a sales rep that goes and talks to a dozen clinics a day and is understanding the markets of what they're charging and what their patients are paying and what they're paying, if they're doing direct clinic ordering. So all of those data points go into these pricing guides that Annie makes, just kind of like an MSRP, just to let you know where you should start.
Yeah, and of course there's always a range. Are you, in the middle of nowhere, or are you in Manhattan, So obviously you always have to look at, your demographics, specifically where you're at, but those are just very helpful in general. So you don't have to take the time to actually figure it out.
Yep, and I'd say one of the main benefits and one of the main reasons why this was an important initiative for us at Atrium to vet some telemedicine options, bring them into the GPO, create kind of that turnkey implementation and workflow that we do, is because it's so overwhelming. So I was even talking with one of our members this morning, and they're a big compounder, great pharmacy. They do a lot of business, and they haven't started with telemedicine yet because it's like, where do I start? What are my options? How do I implement? How do I let my team know? How do I let my patients know? How do I market it?
Yeah.
How do I compound all these specific things, or I order all these specific things from these 503Bs? How do I incorporate that into my telemed platform? So I've been working a lot on the back end and on the vetting and on the legal and compliance, understanding like where are the landmines and how can we make sure to mitigate against them so that our pharmacies aren't at risk. And Annie's been doing a lot of the actual working with the providers, working with the patients, working with the marketing and the website with Tiffany and getting it into our site, understanding the workflow, and just really answering a lot of patient questions too. So we're kind of experts now, a little bit.
Yeah, I'd say we are at this point.
Yep. So it's been a journey. So this question comes up all the time.
Yes.
Because it's not going to do you any good if you sign up and then
you're
don't
not
do anything
marketing
with
it.
it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
So in terms of Atrium materials as well, we have one specifically dedicated to marketing your telemedicine. So we have bag stuffers, patient information sheets. So those obviously are available to Dotti members. Those have been included for all membership tiers. So I see like the patient information sheet is something you can have, up by your register, although you could give it out to whoever you want. There's also bag stuffers. We have made a couple different versions. That way you can just use a very general one, or if you're still doing the GLPs, which have been big, you can use that. We're anticipating liraglutide to come out soon as well. So if you're interested in transitioning your patients or offering that to people who are going to be looking for it as they transition off of semaglutide, those are gonna still be very useful. And
Yep.
then we've created some like fillable ones so that you can put in specifically what you are trying to market for. And I don't know if Nicolette wanted to pull those up at all.
I can show them a little bit. I was gonna say too about the GLPs, there's no slide or no real place to put this, but they're kind of in like a GLP purgatory right now. And there's all this legality going on. Semaglutide is going to become unavailable from the 503Bs as of, what's the date, May 22nd? After
Yes.
after that date.
I have something to interject, which is why I'm like,
I know
I'm
you're
paying
writing
attention,
notes,
but
you're
I
like waiting
feel
for
like I
me
have to say this.
waiting for me to take a breath. I am working on just a lot of different options for how will you be able to continue supporting your patients once these GLPs go away. So just stay tuned there. I'm going to start piloting some things out. Been talking with our legal counsel, but I don't want anyone to think in their business that this entire GLP market is going away and you can't participate in it anymore, because the market and the demand is way too big. It's not going away. So we, as independent pharmacies, just always have to be ready to pivot, and we're really good at that. So things are changing, yes, but the opportunity is not going away.
Definitely. And then what I wanted to say as well is, Expedicare, which is kind of important as we're coming up on that May 22nd date, is that Dr. Pham does allow, or I should say, the Expedicare providers, do allow patients to stock up on the medication.
Yeah.
So we had a ton of patients with tirzepatide who, we gave the option if they would like to transition to semaglutide, which is there's something else that they are very familiar with Expedicare. But the other option is like, would you like to stock up on the medication? So the doctors there are okay with the patients having the medication. And obviously they have new prescriptions that will titrate them up. They always have the option to message with the doctor at any time, log into the portal to message with the doctor, which is what I'll say a lot, with patients. They'll say, when can I move up? And generally the prescription is good for about 2 months of medication, but I'll say, but if you're feeling like you need to move up, you can message the doctor at any time. And he will communicate with them, which is nice. So it's not like you have one visit, that's it. You never see them.
Oh,
you
yeah,
have
no.
that open communication.
Yeah.
And then just that really important piece of allowing these patients who are like, well, I need to lose this much more, or I want to take my time weaning off. There is that option as well, which in our pharmacy, I'm about to send out our mass messaging behind the May 22nd date.
Yeah.
So I'm anticipating, again, a lot of our patients doing that. So it's a really good thing if you have, prescribers that are like, no, I only want to do it I don't feel comfortable doing that afterwards.
Right.
Obviously, you'd like to keep them with the provider if they already have one, but if they need one, you have that option, which is really wonderful.
Yeah. And I can give just a sneak peek on some of the marketing materials that we've uploaded into the Dotti platform. Let me see here. So this one is
just very general, but it's kind of nice, something you can give to your patients that tells them exactly step by step what is going to happen. The fields that are, I'm like pointing at the screen, like you guys can see me pointing, but those are fillable fields, which is nice. So you can fill those in. It will auto brand when you download them. And then that one too is also fillable for your website. So that's just like a general one. We have more options as well that are specific towards weight loss or GLPs. Here's an example of a bag stuffer, which is geared towards weight loss. We also have general ones for those. But really, good things you can slap on everyone's prescription for those. And then something like this, you could have at the front or hand out, or, if you email your patients, however you want to utilize them. And then the next piece probably for marketing is make sure it's on your website, which you're going to have it on there if you are utilizing Expedicare, because that's where the links will live for your pharmacy. So having it up there, and then obviously social media is really big these days. I would say a good option when you're marketing telemedicine is just like target specific treatment areas at a time. So like this, you could really push for weight loss, you could push for anti-aging, you could push for wellness, you could do,
Yeah,
it could be, and then in every message you tie in that you have this, telemed option available. But again, think of the things that the big telemedicines are already doing.
Yeah.
That's your easiest way to know what's working, what's selling,
right, exactly.
and what it's gonna make a profit for you.
Yeah, and what we do on our website is we have like one of the menu items is telemedicine, and then when you click on it, of course, on our website, we can put all the information and the details we want. And then Expedicare has kind of like a widget that you plug in, like a copy paste into the back end of your website. And whatever links you click or whatever colors you select or photos you select on the Expedicare, like on your admin dashboard side, that's what shows up on your website all in real time. So that's pretty cool. Something that we were working through in all the contracting is indemnifications. So Expedicare and their providers don't want to be held liable if the pharmacy on their own website is making claims or just kind of putting wild stuff on their website about these medications or these therapies or using brand names if it's a
It's a little big.
yeah, so all those things. So as you can understand, it gets pretty complicated. So you'll just want to make sure to be compliant, especially when we talk about marketing online and social media. Now that we're in this huge gray area with these cease and desists coming out and these lawsuits coming out, you certainly don't want to just
You gotta be really careful
blatantly,
with misbranding
yeah, and you don't
and
want to
claims, yeah.
become like a big target by spending a ton of money on some advertising if pharma's not going to like it. So just things to be aware of. So iCare Plus is the other telemedicine platform that we've been in the process of vetting. And iCare Plus is it's a telemedicine and clinic from IPC, so the Independent Pharmacy Cooperative. IPC is a GPO. They're like a McKesson GPO, and they have, I want to say they have like 6,000, actually that's wrong. They have, I think 2,000 pharmacies that are IPC members, roughly. And then they have an additional 6,000 pharmacies that buy from their IPC warehouse. So right now, as it stands, since they've just recently rolled this out, they're only allowing iCare Plus access to those IPC members, like to those that are actual IPC, GPO, lots of acronyms, but members. So if you're part of that 2,000 group, but we are working with IPC and they're a really great group of people. They have a really well thought out telemedicine and platform. Theirs is very involved. They have like a weight loss clinic. Their app is really cool.
Their app looks really nice, yeah.
I like that it's very holistic. So it has a lot of like patient care in it and
like remote monitoring as well.
yeah, they do the RPM, the remote patient monitoring. And then the pharmacist at your store are able to view all of that information. So it's very detailed and it's kind of just a different approach than Expedicare. But we really like it.
Yeah, so they've launched pretty recently as well. So again, their probably biggest opportunity right now is with their weight loss clinic that they have. Obviously, if you're an IPC member, you let us know. We're gonna send out an telemedicine interest form after this via email, which will have it on there if you are an IPC member. That way we'll know you are available for both options. But we'll send that out. Generally their setup is about 6 weeks to get you onboarded, but they do on-site visits and are really kind of hands-on in that way.
I just popped the form in the chat for everyone too. So if you are interested in us sending you like actual implementation steps and registration steps and pricing and all that on how to get started with telemedicine, you can fill out that form. It's just a very simple form. But that starts our whole workflow process to send you the information and the links. So I didn't want to forget to do that in case anybody wants to jump ahead.
Okay,
So that's iCare Plus, and then Expedicare, this is the one that we've been talking about, that we have the most knowledge about. personally.
Yes, and this option is available to everybody, as long as you are a Dotti member.
Yeah.
So, with Expedicare, you can get up and running very quickly. Within a few days, you're gonna have everything set up, ready to go. You might even be able to do it faster. But the first step is, if you're not signed up with Atrium, is to sign up for the Atrium membership. So we have 3 different membership tiers. And like we said, even if you're interested in signing up with, I want to start out, let's say I want to start out with basic,
Yeah.
the amount of money you're gonna save just on the GPO.
And I'll tell you pricing too, and I'll be completely transparent. Atrium 24 basic membership is $99 per month. And you do get access to our Dotti software, to our GPO, to a lot of cool things. And as Expedicare being part of our GPO, you also get all the support and all the marketing materials and all the implementation and best practices and things as an Atrium 24 member. Anybody can go straight to Expedicare and sign up and not be involved with Atrium. I mean, they're their own company. You can do that too. It's just the benefit of going through the Atrium 24 GPO is you'll be on our dashboard as one of our pharmacies in the Expedicare group, and then we can support you. We have a help desk and we can answer your questions, provide.
And we have all of the
Materials.
supporting information that you're gonna need to actually be successful with telemedicine.
Yeah.
Um,
So that's all. I just wanted to make that distinction. Like,
Yes.
anybody can
did our
go.
pricing change?
Oh, our pricing is increasing. That's our beta pricing. You're right, Annie. I think the basic is increasing to 129, but we're in
Not
an,
huge, but yeah.
we're in an interim right now. So I know Jen at Atrium handles our onboarding and our demos with all the pharmacies. So you can just let her know that I said the beta pricing, and then she'll
You're gonna get lucky today.
she'll
So I
probably
was like,
honor
I think
it
it's
for
already
you.
been updated,
Oh,
but
you're right, you're right.
yes, well, I guess hot deal on this. So I'll just walk you through like very quickly, how you would set up with Expedicare. So, Nicolette popped that form in, then we would send you our registration link, which is also here.
Went ahead.
Whoop. Okay, so then within the platform, once you set up your account with Expedicare, you just go in and you send a verification request. So you put in all of your pharmacy's information, your NCPDP, everything. And then Expedicare sends an e-script with a verification code to your pharmacy. You open that up, the code's gonna be on there, then you go back in Expedicare, put in that code, and then you're verified. So in essence, they're making sure that you are a real pharmacy, you are
Right.
connected to this eScribe ID. And then the next step is the subscription, and then you're ready to go. Once you've, paid that, and as it is right now, it's $90 a month for the subscription. Which obviously you also can make back
Yeah.
fairly quickly.
So let's talk about, before we get into the workflows, let's talk real quick about pricing and how all that works, because I know that's a really important question. So on the Expedicare side, to access the software and to be able to put it on your website and get your patients into that telemed platform and everything like that, the Expedicare platform is, as Annie said, $90 per month, 90. It's a month-to-month contract. They don't have any commitments. $90, you can get started and implement pretty quickly, because that's always important in software.
Very quickly.
So that's, if you fill out that you're interested form, that's what Tiffany set up. It'll automatically send you kind of the links to register with Expedicare, get verified that you're on their SureScripts network, and then start your subscription of the $90 per month that you can cancel at any time. That's what the pharmacy pays. Now, when you think about patient visits, you buy tokens through Expedicare, kind of like if you're shipping packages and you have tokens, or what if you're buying text messages or like a bundle of things. So you buy those tokens through Expedicare. One token is one patient visit. The pharmacy is charged $39 per patient visit. But you can charge the patient whatever you like. We charge $49 for our visits.
I would say keep it reasonable, that way, we have a little bit more built in because it also takes effort on our side to maintain
Right.
everything that's happening with it. I don't think anyone's gonna go out there and like, it's $200 for your visit.
No, and on the ExpediCare website itself, like, because your patients can go straight to ExpediCare as well and get telemed services and put in what pharmacy they want it to go to if they don't go through your link that you have set up. And on that site, patient facing, it's $49.
Yeah,
So that's why we did the same thing.
yeah, so most of the time anyways, when patients fill out their assessments, they are actually paying for the cost of the subscription membership. Plus you're making the profit on all of the medications.
Right.
So yeah, it's really a no-brainer there.
Yep. And so, yeah, go ahead and complete that form in the chat. So someone asked, like, what if I'm already signed up with ExpediCare and Atrium 24 separate? Is there a way to combine the two? We can ask ExpediCare and Dr. Pham. The pharmacies that sign up through the Atrium group, we are able to support you, and we know pharmacy very well, and we know how to implement this system into your pharmacy. If you join ExpediCare on your own, you'll have to use their help desk and go through their desk, and they don't have they're wonderful, and they don't have the firsthand pharmacy knowledge like we do. And they don't have the market intel and data that we do about what's coming and what protocols we all need. We kind of work as a group, I'd say, on the Atrium side. So someone asked, so that was kind of to your point, Ken, is there any price difference going through Atrium for the telemedicine? No. We asked for a discount on that $90 per month, but they have costs that they have to maintain, and they want their pricing to be the same across the market. And a lot of companies do that, so I understand. So then we were like, well, do we even get involved if we can't get a discount for our members? How does that work? But I do believe that we provide tremendous value in our firsthand knowledge of how to, and it's a tricky subject. Otherwise, all of us would have telemedicines in our pharmacies. But how do you actually implement telemed into your pharmacy? So
yeah, we kind of help with the whole package of helping to push it all through, not just have it, but make it successful, is what Atrium is really, I think, really good at. It's been developing even more so over the past like year or so with the new programs we've been putting out.
Yep. And we just had one more slide that I'll show you guys, and then I'll get into the questions that we have. And if you guys want to jump on and ask any more questions, but definitely to fill out that form so that you'll get the automated email from Tiffany and HubSpot to put you into the workflow. So what is the patient workflow with ExpediCare, Amy?
Okay. So I would always advise people to visit your website first, because you don't want them to get confused and go to the wrong one. They can still always request if they go somehow end up, we've had this happen where a patient goes straight to ExpediCare. They can always request that the prescription goes to your pharmacy. So you should get it either way, but this gives you kind of more visibility into it. So you will have that link that we talked about on your pharmacy website, and we have it under telemedicine, so it's very visible to everybody. They know where to go. When they click on the telemedicine link, it will give them all the options of what you have. So let's just use semaglutide as an example. They would, if they're interested in the semaglutide, they would just click here, start assessment. If it's their first time, they create their login information, they input all of their medical information, whatever other information they need to create an account, and then they'll start the actual assessment. So it will have it depends on which state you're in, whether it's going to be a face-to-face visit or if it's going to be the assessment. But they will complete that assessment with the provider. Then the provider will review everything.
Yeah, and it is legit. The patients are uploading lab work. They're uploading full body photos for the weight loss clinic.
Photos, licenses. They have to verify that they are in the states that you. So when you go into ExpediCare and set up your own account on the pharmacy side, you'll put which states that you are licensed in.
Yeah.
That way they'll know. So for us, it'll just say like you have to confirm you're in Florida. Anyway, so then the prescriber will review everything. If appropriate, they'll send in the prescription to you. So that will come through the ExpediCare platform, but it also will send you an email which is going to be the email that you signed up with. You can always edit that if you put in the wrong email to begin with. And then that's it for them. They get a message from Expedicare that the prescription has been sent to the pharmacy.
Yep.
And then pharmacy workflow, as soon as the prescription is prescribed, you will get that email. So then you would log into Expedicare. You can pull it up. It's nice because you can see all of the patient information, their
Yeah.
phone number, their email, what's been prescribed. So you can reach out to the patient right off the bat if you need to. From there, you can also download the prescription. And when you download it is when you actually pay that fee,
Right. That's when
the
you get charged a
token.
token. And
Yeah.
that's what we do. So we get an email at Achieve. There's a new prescription from Expedicare. We log into the Expedicare portal. And then, I don't know, if this is what you do, if this is what I'm supposed to do, but I'll look at it and I'll copy the patient's phone number and I'll text them from our pharmacy software and just let them know we received a prescription.
Yeah. We
This
like
is
to
the
make them feel
cost.
very comfortable, like that
Yeah.
they're knowing it's right away, that it's not some crazy thing that they,
Yeah.
you know, just did.
And if they say, yes, it's me, I want that,
Mhm.
then I download it from Expedicare because we don't get charged for that visit until it's downloaded. Now, that's the part that threw me off. It's like, well, we're the pharmacy. Why are we paying for the visit, quote unquote? You're not paying for the visit, because what we do also that's very explicit is we charge the patient for the visit as a separate line item on their receipt. So that was something I talked about with legal counsel. A lot of the online telemeds were grouping all the patient's charges together in a monthly fee. You know, a lot of the onlines do that, like, oh, get your semaglutide for $300 a month, and you can see the provider, and you can get the med, and you get all the supplies, but they weren't itemizing what the patient was paying for, and that was a problem. So something that we're always very cognizant to do is to itemize. This is the medication and the cost. This is the telemed visit and the cost.
Yep.
So it's very clear that even though we quote unquote paid for the telemed visit, because that's a huge no-no red flag. The pharmacy can't pay the prescriber for the visit, but you're not.
The patient is paying, it's just coming through you.
That's right. And that threw me off.
Yeah.
But we got it all through legal, and as long as you're itemizing that you're charging the patient for that visit, then that's okay.
Yeah. And then I do have a little asterisk here too, because there actually is a new option in Expedicare as well, where you can have patients pay upfront before the visit. So you can kind of decide what works best for your workflow. But both options are there. You can integrate your own payment platform. I think they accept, like, I don't know, a whole lot of them, like
Yeah.
all of them, I think.
Yep.
Maybe, I'm sure there's some weird ones.
Yeah.
That they can integrate into Expedicare. So when the patient goes to complete their assessment, they can add that in where they would pay first.
Right.
It's still coming to you as the pharmacy, but it's just a different way of having that.
Yeah, it's if you wanted to separate the workflow, but you're absolutely collecting from the patient, if they're having a visit.
Or the prescriber visit. Yeah.
Yep.
I think that's pretty much it.
That's pretty much it for the content itself. So if you're not a Dotti member yet, through Atrium 24, we do offer a free 14-day trial in the basic and the plus memberships. And if you fill out this form that you're interested in telemed, but we see that you're not a Dotti member, Jen will get with you and get you all the pertinent information. You definitely should be.
Yeah.
If you are a Dotti member, we have a ton of our members on this call. If you fill out this form, we'll be sending you the links to actually register with Expedicare, get verified, and then start your subscription.
I don't think we talked about, fully, probably a lot of people on here are familiar with Atrium, but if you're not, you want to just give an overview of what, like, the software provides for them as well, because there's a lot, just so they know, what are you getting, like, even just reviewing the CRM or or I can.
So our goal really was to help pharmacies have a sales system in their business. So it's very hard a lot of times to extract meaningful data from all the systems that you use on a daily basis for your workflow. So what Dotti does is it connects to your PMS and it pulls in daily dispensing data, and it's your sales system. So at its core, it's a CRM that's connected to your pharmacy management system. And the CRM is your sales system. So if you're talking to any prescribers, or if you have a sales rep that's talking to any prescribers, doing any doctor detailing, you'll be putting your notes in the CRM under that prescriber profile. So that was the main core function. And then it's like if you give a mouse a cookie, we realize there's so much more to having a robust sales system and a business development arm for your pharmacy business. So we have the Dotti CRM, all your prescribers are automatically loaded in. You can add more prescribers in your area because we have an API integration with the NPI database. See how many acronyms I can throw in here.
I know. Like people probably don't even know what a CRM is.
It's a customer relationship manager. Most pharmacies don't know what a CRM is, but if you've ever taken notes about like doctors that you visited or offices that have special requests or special pricing or special products that they want, if you've ever put it in a Google Sheet or if you've ever put it on a Post-it note, you need a CRM. Every business needs a CRM. Every salesperson, one of their first questions is, well, what CRM am I logging all my activities in, and how am I working this account?
Even communication among the pharmacy staff, because I
Yep.
know that was big for us, like,
Yep.
well, so who talked to that person? And we said we would always have, you know, 2 of this in stock, and
Yeah.
we would have this, like,
Or
there's
this
just
compound is
so
this
many,
price for the
like,
office.
pieces of information
Yep.
from everywhere, that to
Yep.
have somewhere where you can put all of that is like really incredible and
Yeah.
really useful.
Yeah, so we have the CRM, and then we have all the data. So you have a dashboard that just shows you what's going on in your business, how many scripts, how much top line revenue, cost of goods, profitability. Are you dispensing anything on the CVS Caremark Aberrant list? That all comes in and is laid against your data as well on their 30 or so bin numbers and 1,500 NDCs. All that's done in real time on our back end. Data share shows you all the dispensing data across the country, completely de-identified, but you can just see profitability trends or what people are charging in what states. My data is a drill down, like a deep dive. My data is only available for Plus and Pro members, but it shows you very granularly who are your top prescribers, what are they writing, how are they trending. You can save filters. If I have a sales rep, how many prescriptions are coming in from that sales rep? What are the prescriptions? Who are the prescribers? How are they trending? There's a lot of really cool
Can
things
also
you can
see what you're
do.
losing money on, which is important, like.
Yep.
Sometimes you don't realize day to day, especially these days, like, oh my God, I did not realize I was losing, you know, $100 consistently on this one medication.
Right.
We'll pull that in. You can pull in worse scripts. You can see that too, because that's
Yeah.
important, you know. You
It
have to
is
address that.
important. And maybe it's wrong in your system. Maybe it's wrong in your actual PMS. So then too, there's the learn menu, which this webinar will go into. So we do webinars every 2 weeks is our preferred cadence. So we try to do one like this every 2 weeks. I know you have some wellness webinars coming up.
Yeah, so that'll be probably interesting for a lot of people that are attending this one, because we're gonna kind of dive into some of the new programs that we're putting out.
Yeah.
Um,
On Samorlin, NAD, those kind of things.
Yeah, so that's available. I don't even know too. Probably everyone knows at this point, but these like 503B products,
Yep.
a lot of times are sterile products, but they can now be sold from these 503B manufacturers to pharmacies. You don't have to be a compounding pharmacy at all. But also you can be, because we have a lot of compounding pharmacies that aren't interested in doing everything.
Right.
You know, and NAD is notoriously like difficult to work with. So if you don't want to deal with that and the testing on it,
Yeah.
order that from Olympia, you know. So
Yep.
there's just so many options.
Yep. And then we're going to have some more options coming into the GPO as well on these wellness products. So there's that. So the learn menu, if you hire a sales rep, we have sales rep training in the learn menu. So there's a lot of really cool things in there. We offer something called Dotti Days every 2 weeks. And that's where Jen actually takes people through Dotti, shows them the new things that we've uploaded, answers questions that's going on in the industry. Learn resources. Oh my gosh, resources is our most popular menu.
We've got a lot in there these days.
There's a lot.
And growing.
So that's where all of our marketing materials live. And what's cool, we're always uploading every month a lot of marketing materials. So there's over 200 now in the Plus membership. We just added a lot more marketing materials for basic as well. So if you're a basic member and haven't logged in a bit and looked at resources, go check it out. You have a lot more. When you download it out of Dotti, Dotti automatically puts your brand and your contact information, so your logo, on that marketing piece in real time. So that's cool.
I always like to mention, and I've mentioned it before, but it will also, auto load like the name of your pharmacy, and I think it's maybe the address or
Yeah.
fax, but that's editable too. So
Right.
you can go in there and type whatever, pre-type whatever you want,
Yeah.
which makes it even a little bit more customizable to you, which is nice.
Mm-hmm. So there's a lot. Dotti, and Dotti's only growing. So it's essentially a network of like-minded pharmacy owners utilizing software to grow our businesses and to grow them profitably. So especially with the climate and how everything is now, it's, if you don't have that, it's going to be really hard to try to just pull all that out of your PMS. Because that's your workflow system, that's your billing system, your operating system. We have some comments coming through. Looks like Ken and Steven have it all figured out among each other, so that's good. Yeah, you can customize how and when you want to collect payment. So that'll be more on like the deep dive that we do.
iCare is currently free for IPC members, for the first year.
The weight loss clinic is not though.
But maybe the weight loss clinic isn't.
I don't know. But if
Fill
you're
out the
interested,
form.
yeah, and then we'll just
We'll
do
connect you.
a little warm connection and they can
Yes.
answer all the questions
Yep.
for you. So that's pretty much it. If you guys want to get started, fill out this form, and I just put it in the chat. That's a super simple form. It just starts our workflow process to let us know that you're interested in telemed. And then you'll automatically get all the links to register, then you'll get verified, and then you'll start your subscription.
You're ready to go.
We'll probably have to do some cohorts to help everyone. I know ExpediCare has like welcome guides and videos.
We could probably even do a Dotti day on it.
Yeah, we'll probably plug it into a Dotti day. So be on the lookout on your emails from us. Tiffany does such a great job putting so much relevant content in those emails. We try not to send you guys too many emails. I know.
We have so many exciting things to say.
Very exciting.
She's
over
like,
here.
she's like, we already sent out too many emails. We're like,
I'm like,
but
I
what
need
about
another
this?
email. And surprisingly, or maybe not, email is where you guys interact the most. So even more than social media, all those kind of things. So yeah. So I know the verification process and like that implementation process, it can be a little confusing because if you're not used to the platform yet on ExpediCare, and it is a pretty intricate platform. So so if you're coming through and registering, and if you're on our Dotti roster through ExpediCare, we can certainly help you with all that.
Yes, and we're constantly working with them as well.
Yeah.
With, feedback to help make it better.
Yep.
But yeah, reach out to us, fill out the form, and we can help you.
Yeah, we're excited for you guys all to implement telemed into your pharmacies, expand your product offerings, and increase your profitability and your patient care. Thank you. Bye.